When everything falls apart, seeing clearly through Buddhist wisdom on suffering. Sometimes, life doesn't go the way we expect. One day, things seem fine. The next, everything is different. A relationship ends. A plan falls apart. Someone we love walks away. Or maybe it's something inside, like the feeling that we're no longer the person we used to be. When these moments come, they often leave us confused, tired, and unsure of what to do next. In these times, people often try to give advice. They say, "Just stay strong," or "Everything happens for a reason." But words like that don't always help, because when something truly important breaks, it affects more than just our thoughts. It shakes our sense of who we are. It's not just about losing something outside. It's about feeling like the meaning of things has collapsed inside. This kind of pain is not unusual, and it's not a personal failure. Even the Buddha saw this kind of pain. Before he was known as the Buddha, he lived as a prince. He had comfort, wealth, and protection. But none of it helped him understand the world. That changed when he saw something simple but powerful. An old man, a sick man, and a dead body. For the first time, he realized that nothing, not youth, not health, not even life, stays the same. He saw that no one is free from change, and no one escapes loss. He did not run away because he was afraid. He left his home because he wanted to understand something deeply. Why do we suffer? Is there a way to live with suffering without being crushed by it? These were not abstract questions for him. They were real, because life itself had asked them. The Buddha did not teach people how to avoid pain. He did not offer quick answers or empty comfort. What he offered was something different, a way to see clearly. He said that when we look at suffering without running away, something changes. We begin to understand it. We begin to see what is real and what is only our fear. And from that clear seeing, freedom becomes possible. If you are facing a time when everything feels like it is falling apart, you are not alone. And you are not broken. These moments may hurt, but they also invite us to pause. They give us a chance to ask honest questions. Not to escape life, but to live it more clearly, more wisely. The Buddha's path begins here, not in perfection, but in honest attention to what is happening right now. The first truth: suffering that rises from within. When something outside breaks, like a job, a relationship, or even the body, it's easy to think that this is the source of our pain. But if we look more closely, we may notice something else. The deepest pain doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from inside, from how we react, how we hold on, and how we hope things could be different. The Buddha was very clear about this. He said that suffering is part of life. Not because life is cruel, but because we don't always see things as they really are. Most of the time, we want things to go our way. We want people to treat us well. We want our plans to work. We want our health to stay. When reality moves in a different direction, we feel pain. And when we fight that reality, the pain gets worse. Suffering, the Buddha said, begins when we resist what already is. For example, aging happens to everyone. But when we try to hide from it, we suffer more. Illness comes, but when we deny it or feel like it's unfair, we add fear on top of pain. And death, the one thing we all know will come, becomes a source of anxiety because we don't want to face it. These are not punishments. They are facts. The Buddha called them messengers. Old age, sickness, and death are not here to scare us. They are here to wake us up. They remind us that no one escapes change. Not even the strong. Not even the kind. Not even those who try to do everything right. This truth can be hard to accept at first, but it is not meant to make us hopeless. In fact, it's the beginning of wisdom. Once we stop seeing suffering as something wrong with us, we begin to understand that it is simply part of being human. And that opens the door to something new. Not escape, but clarity. The Buddha did not look away from these truths. He sat with them. He observed them. And because he did not turn away, he began to see clearly. He saw that suffering is not a mistake. It's a signal, a message, a chance to ask deeper questions. Why does the mind react the way it does? Why do we hold on to what is already gone? Why do we fear things that no one can avoid? These are not questions for books. They are questions for real life. And the answers don't come quickly, but they begin with the courage to see pain not as an enemy, but as something that can teach. Impermanence, the nature of everything. Most of us grow up with the silent hope that good things will stay. We want the people we love to always be with us. We want our body to remain healthy. We want things that make us happy to stay the same. But reality doesn't work like that. The Buddha observed this deeply. He saw that everything that is born changes. Every feeling, every thought, every body, every relationship. All of them rise, stay for a while, and then pass. This is not a theory. It's what life shows us again and again. Impermanence is not something far away. It's happening now. The face in the mirror today is not the same as 5 years ago. The emotions we feel change from hour to hour. Even the people closest to us change in ways we cannot control. The problem is not that things change. The problem is that we expect them not to. We hold on to what is fading. We resist the natural flow of life. That resistance creates pain. The Buddha once taught, "Form is impermanent." What is impermanent is suffering. What is suffering is not mine, not me, not myself. These words can feel strange at first, but they point to something simple. When we take things as mine, my body, my plan, my success, we suffer more when they change. But if we see clearly that these things were never fully under our control, we start to loosen our grip. Not because we don't care, but because we understand. When we see a flower, we enjoy its beauty, knowing it will not last forever. That understanding makes the moment more precious, not less. The same is true with everything in life. The Buddha also taught, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one grows disenchanted with suffering. This is the path to purification. He did not say this to make us cold or distant. He said it to help us stop chasing after what will never stay. We don't need to hate change. We just need to stop expecting life to behave differently than it does. Change is not against us. It is part of how things are. This does not mean we should not love, or care, or work hard. It means we do these things with open eyes. We enjoy what is here while it's here, and we let it go when it's time. That is not weakness, That is wisdom. Clear seeing, a mind that no longer clings. When we experience pain, we often want it to stop. That's natural. The mind begins to search for something to fix it. A distraction, a new goal, a different story. But the Buddha didn't teach people to run away from pain. He taught them to look at it with clear eyes. Clarity means seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. This is not always easy, because the mind has habits. It wants to hold on to pleasant things. It wants to push away anything uncomfortable. But this pushing and pulling only creates more suffering. The Buddha said that the wise do not suffer from change, because they see clearly. They don't expect what is temporary to become permanent. They don't try to hold what cannot be held. And they don't build their identity on things that come and go. When we see clearly, we begin to understand. Pain is just pain. A thought is just a thought. A feeling is just a feeling. These things arise and pass. We don't have to follow every thought. We don't have to believe every emotion. We can observe them and let them move on. This is not about ignoring life. It's the opposite. It means being present with what's really here, without adding confusion. For example, when sadness comes, a mind that clings says, "This shouldn't be here," or "It will always be like this." But a clear mind simply says, "This is sadness," and then watches it change. The Buddha once said, "Let go of the past. Let go of the future. See clearly what is here now, with wisdom." These are simple words, but they describe a mind that no longer gets lost in regret or worry. A mind that rests in the present, steady, alert, and not caught by every passing wave. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means we stop fighting with what we cannot control. It means we live with awareness instead of resistance. A hand that opens can hold peace. A hand that grips too tightly can only feel tension. The goal is not to become numb or distant. It's to stay close to reality without fear. This kind of seeing is quiet. It doesn't need big words. It simply watches, understands, and lets go. Healing isn't pretending, it's practice. Many people think healing means feeling happy again, or smiling like nothing happened. But the Buddha never said we need to pretend. He never asked anyone to cover pain with positive thinking. Healing, in the way he taught, is not a mask. It is a practice, something we return to again and again, like breathing. Practice begins with awareness. In Pali, the word is sati, mindfulness. This means knowing what is happening in your body, your thoughts, your emotions, as it happens. If the breath is fast, you know it's fast. If the heart feels heavy, you notice it, without turning away. You don't have to fix anything. You just stay with it, gently, like a quiet witness. But mindfulness is not enough on its own. The Buddha also taught wise attention. This means watching the mind carefully and asking, is this thought useful? Or is it making things worse? Some thoughts seem important, but only bring more pain, blame, guilt, fear, self-hate. When we keep feeding these thoughts, they grow. But when we recognize them, we can stop. We can say, this is not helpful, and return to what is true now. In one of his discourses, the Buddha said, "Such thinking is unbeneficial. Such thinking leads to suffering. Therefore, it should be abandoned." He wasn't telling people to suppress their minds. He was teaching them to choose what they follow. Healing also grows through simple, kind actions, even small ones. You speak gently to yourself. You show patience when the heart feels restless. You do something helpful for another person, even if your own mind is tired. These small actions are like drops of water. Over time, they become a stream. The Buddha taught, "The mindful, striving one, who lives by truth and discipline, builds an island for themselves that no flood can overwhelm. That island is not built in one day. It comes from practice, not performance. You don't have to feel strong every moment. But if you keep showing up, quietly, honestly, your steps become steadier." This kind of healing may not look special from the outside, but inside, something changes. The mind becomes less chaotic. The heart becomes more open. And even if pain still comes, you are not lost in it. You know how to return to the breath, to awareness, to the present. You are not pretending. You are practicing. The path we've walked together is not about fixing the past. It's not about pretending we were never hurt. A broken vase, even when repaired, is not the same as before. But maybe it's not supposed to be. In Japan, there is an art called kintsugi. When a bowl or a vase breaks, it's repaired with gold. The cracks are not hidden. They are highlighted. The lines of damage become lines of beauty. The broken object becomes more meaningful, not less. This is also true with us. The parts of our life that have broken, the losses, the changes, the pain, don't have to be erased. They can become the places where wisdom grows, where kindness deepens, where understanding becomes real. Before life broke, we may have believed we had to be perfect. That strength meant being untouched by pain. But clear seeing shows us something else. True strength is quiet. It's found in those who have fallen and still return, who hurt and still choose to see clearly, who carry scars and do not hide them. A broken heart learns how to hold the pain of others. A confused mind, once settled, can offer real clarity. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs that the Dhamma has entered deeply. And slowly, the question shifts. We no longer ask, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead, we begin to see, "What has this taught me that nothing else could?" This is the turning point. The pain that once felt personal becomes something universal. The breakdown becomes a doorway. The fear becomes a path. In the end, the path is not about following the Buddha as a person. It's about discovering the Buddha within yourself. The part of you that can know, that can see, that can be still, even when things fall apart. The Buddha's final words to his students were simple. Be a lamp unto yourselves. Be a refuge to yourselves. Hold fast to the Dhamma as a lamp. Hold fast to the Dhamma as a refuge. Look for no other refuge. This refuge is not somewhere far. It's right here, in your breath, in your body, in your daily life. It is built from your own experience, joined together by the gold of awareness. The path is not about becoming unbreakable. It is about seeing clearly, even in the breaks, and discovering that nothing true was ever lost.